Good night. Have one done tonight. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Simon Jill, Spirit is Divine. I'm here to give you a word on tonight. And we still doing Bible study. Um, we still dealing with Pharaoh, have to let the people go. You know, Exodus and Passover restriction gonna come from Exodus chapter 12, verse 31 through 40. You know, so we just had past firstborn and Passover. You know, so now during the night, Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron. Now he said, leave my people. You and the Israelite, go worship your Lord. Take your flocks, your herds, and go and also bless him. You know, now that was a powerful pledge, God had did yesterday. You know, we talked about that yesterday. You know, so now in the middle of the night, Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron. He said, y'all go. You take the Israelite, you take your flock, your herd, just take everything. You know, and before you leave, bless me. Now, he going to say, bless him. You know, because, they've been trying to get him to let the Israelite go. So I guess for his labor, having the Israelite, he said, bless him before y'all go. You know, so now Pharaoh said, take the Israelite and all your livestock, and go. But make sure you bless me. Now Pharaoh said, make sure you bless me. He said, take everything and just go. Y'all just get out of here. Just go. You know, he got tired of everything. You know, because God put that he had two powerful things back to back. You know, to hell and then the place of the firstborn. You know, so the Egyptian urged the people to hurry. Now he rushing them out the country now. You know, the Egyptian said, y'all people, y'all hurry. You know, and leave the country. Y'all hurry, get out of here, leave the country. You know, he want them to just go. He got tired of all these different plagues that God was sending at him. So the people said, we gonna die. You know, we ain't got no food, we ain't got no water. You know, you just hurry up. You know, so they had took some dough with them. Yeast with added and carry it on their shoulder and wrap it up in clothes. So they had time to bake it and let it fluff and all that. You know, so they're gonna take whatever they can. So they can fix them some on their journey. So we see the Israelite is preparing to gather things together. Moses instructed to ask Egyptians, article of silver and gold and clothing. So they're preparing, to get all kind of stuff they're going to need when they go on their journey. They're trying to get some dough to fix some food. They're trying to get some clothes, so they're trying to get much of the stuff that came from the Egyptians. So the Lord had made the Egyptians favorable, disposable towards the people, and they give them what they asked. So God touched their hearts to give the Israelites anything they need. And they did. Anything Israelite asked them, that they need, they gave to them. So the Israelite is getting ready for their journey. So 600,000, of men on foot, besides the women and the children. So and they also they had took large livestock. They had a whole lot of livestock, flocks and herds. You remember Pharaoh said, take your flocks, your herds. The Israelite take it all, and y'all just get out of this country. So the dough they got from Egypt, they baked loaves, of unleavened bread, and the dough was without yeast. You remember God had told them, y'all gonna do this generation after generation. But the only way you're gonna fix this unleavened bread, you got to have it without yeast. So just like God had told them, they instructed and did exactly what he told them. They were driven out of Egypt and did not have time to prepare food for themselves. All they did was grab the dough. So that dough had to rise and everything else. So they ain't had time to take nothing else but to grab some dough and then they had grab some clothes. So the Israelites are free. Oh, they are free at last. Free at last from being slavery under Pharaoh, captivity, bondage. They're free from all that. Pharaoh said, get out of my country. Get out of my country now. So the length of time they had lived in Egypt was 430 years. You know, 430 years they was crying out to God for God to come rescue. And God came and rescued them with his mighty hand. The Lord kept vengeance that night to bring them out of Egypt. So that night, all the Israelites ought to keep vengeance to honor the law for generation to come. And then they have to honor God, for every year. They had to do this every year, because God had the Israelites ought to keep this vengeance to honor the Lord for generation to generation, that he had got them out of slavery. So when the Israelites first went to, when they first went to Egypt, Jacob was alive. And remember I put that out weeks ago, weeks ago, when Jacob was still alive. He was still in Canaan. When Joseph had to come to get him and bring him to Canaan, because he about to die soon. So total, when they left and went to Egypt, it was 70. That's including the wife, the children. They started out with 70. You know, and God had told them to multiply because you're gonna be a nation. And they did just that. And so as the 430 years, they had like 600, thousand men on foot, but a total of Egypt, a total of the Israelites when they came out of Egypt was 2 million. That's a lot of Israelites. That's a lot. I mean, when God told them to multiply, they didn't have no problem multiplying. So imagine the chaos, the noise, the confusion of the great multitude as they hurry out, because they had to make noise, coming out of there. They was hurrying, because Pharaoh like, y'all get out of here. So Moses have to lead 2 million of the Israelites to their promised land. So Egypt with all their word, their possession, they got their possession, they got their herbs, they got their flocks, their clocks, they got everything, including the invaluable livestock. Jacob loved his livestock, so that's why they're taken care of and bring along with them. So we see that God brought them out with his mighty hand. The Israelite is free. A total of 2 million Israelites. And it was in there for 430 years. So now we're going to look at the Passover restriction. And next story we're going to come from Exodus chapter 12, verse 43 and 50. So now the Lord said to Moses, and Aaron, you know, these are the restrictions for the Passover. The Passover meal. No foreigner may eat it. Any slave may eat it after they have circumcised. You remember he made that covenant with Abraham. Every child on the 8th day, I think it's the 7th or the 8th day, that male child had to be circumcised. But a temporary resident or a hired worker may not eat it. So we see no foreign cannot eat with them. No temporary resident cannot eat with them. No hired worker cannot eat with them. They have to be circumcised. They have to eat meat inside. They can't bring the meat outside. So this is a restriction Passover. They cannot take meat outside the house. Do not break any of the bones. All the community of Israel must celebrate this. They must celebrate this once a year. And if a foreign residing among you who want to celebrate the law of Passover must have all the male in his household circumcised. For anybody else that wants to come celebrate, along with the Israelites, every male in their house, 8 years old on up has to be circumcised. So no uncircumcised male may eat it. The law brought the Israelite out of Egypt by division. So the Israelite, they left Egypt, You know, they left Egypt so quickly, so they was making noise. You know, 2 million of the Israelites, they making noise because Pharaoh rushed them out of here. Y'all need to quickly get on out of here, get out of this country. You know, so they was marching out of there. You know, they're free. You know, so they're trying to hurry up and get out of there. You know, so they have no yeast with which is to make their bread. You know, because they had to left out of there so fast. All they did was grab the dough. So the bread they eat is flat, because they didn't have time to raise it. They didn't have time to get nothing else. All they did was grab the dough. So on the Passover celebration begin with 6 days in which only the only bread may be eaten. So on the sixth day, that's when they can eat the unleavened bread. So when the Israelites escaped Egypt, they're led by Moses, and they didn't have time to let their bread rise. They had time, so they were making the bread, but they didn't have time for it to rise because Pharaoh was rushing them out of there. And Moses like, y'all free, come on, for Pharaoh changed his mind. Y'all come on, let's go on and get out of this country. Before going into the desert. Because of this, any type of leavened bread, a bread productive is prohibited during the Passover. So we see that was a really strict Passover. Really strict Passover. And they have to follow these instructions, once a year. They have to do this here. For anybody else that's not an Israelite, wants to celebrate this once a year, every male in their house, 8 years on up, 8 days on up have to be circumcised. So we see, oh Lord, in the name of Jesus, the Israelites are free. They're free from bondage. They're free from captivity. They're free from being a slave. So they're about to soon march into their promised land. So Moses have to lead 2 million Israelites to their promised land. He had to deal with 2 million people. And they're going to be a tough group to deal with. They're going to be mumbling and complaining and everything else. And Moses going to have to keep on praying and crying out to God for help. So that's all the story I have for you on today. Thank the Lord that the Israelites are free. They're free from slavery, and we're still moving on to God's plan. Because it's still going to go on until they get to their promised land. So y'all have a blessed night, and I'll see y'all on the next video.